Let's talk dollars. We're guessing that you want to know how your pension is calculated and how much it will be. We mentioned earlier that age and service are requirements for eligibility to retire. There are also factors in the calculation. Let's break them down. The first factor is your age on the date of your retirement. For instance, if you're considering a July 1st retirement date, but your birthday is July 15th, it might be worthwhile to hold off 1 month. We suggest requesting multiple estimates that will allow you to compare the difference in pension amounts. The second factor is your total service credit, including any purchase service and/or other retirement system service. And then the final factor we use is your final average salary, also known as FAS. Your FAS is the average of your 3 highest years of earnings, regardless of when you earn them. You should understand that if you choose to retire in the middle of a school year, your partial year's salary will still be included in the calculation of your FAS. You should also know that payments for severance, unused sick leave, and unused vacation time are not included in the calculation of your FAS. So your age, total service credit, and FAS equal your paycheck in retirement. Now that you've got the basics on how we calculate a pension, let's talk about you specifically. If you pre-registered for this conference, you received an estimate of benefits in the mail. Please review your personal information as well as your beneficiary information. The beneficiary listed on your estimate is based upon who you listed when you pre-registered. This may not be the person who is currently your designated beneficiary. If you are unsure who is currently listed as your beneficiary, please contact our office or review your account information online on Account Login. If you notice any mistakes, please let us know. If you did not receive an estimate and would like to request one, please see us before you leave today. Before we get into the next section of the estimate where we finally get into dollars and cents, we want you to consider something. So far, we have talked about you, and while we don't really want to think about it, what if you pass away? Will your spouse or beneficiary need income? Will they need health care coverage? Thinking through the needs of your beneficiary will help you decide on a plan of payment. When you retire, you will need to select a plan of payment. Many people ask which plan is best, but the plan you choose really must be based on your situation. The plan you choose will determine the pension amount you will receive for the rest of your life. It also determines if a beneficiary is eligible to receive a benefit for their lifetime after you pass away. Your marital status, health, financial situation, and health care coverage needs are all important when making your choice. No matter which plan you choose when you retire, your beneficiary will receive a one-time $1,000 death benefit when you pass away. So you're probably wondering, how do I choose the right plan? Let's look at your estimate and go over all of your options. If your spouse will need continuing benefits if you pass away, Plan A may be the option for you. Plan A is a joint survivor allowance plan. The example member amount listed here shows your monthly pension amount. Your spouse would receive 1/2 that amount upon your death. Plan A also allows your spouse to continue health care coverage with SCRS. If you do not need to provide a monthly benefit for your spouse or beneficiary, consider Plan B, the single life allowance. This plan provides the highest monthly amount to you. It does not provide a continuing benefit for your spouse or beneficiary, and they will not have access to health care with SCRS. If, at the time of your death, you still have money left in your account, that balance would be paid to your beneficiary. Plan C is also a joint survivor allowance. This plan allows you to set a monthly amount or percentage of your pension for your beneficiary while allowing them to continue health care coverage if you pass away first. The minimum you can designate is $100 per month, and we have calculated the Plan C amount based on that figure unless you have specifically designated another amount. If you want to provide your beneficiary with the same monthly pension amount that you receive, you may want to consider Plan D. Compared to other plans, Plan D will represent the greatest reduction in your payment because it leaves the most to your beneficiary over their lifetime. Plan D also allows your spouse to continue health care coverage with SCRS. Please note that due to federal tax law, if there is a big difference in the age between you and your beneficiary other than your spouse, this plan may not be available to you. Plan E works a little differently than the other plans. You receive the pension for your life. The specified period for your beneficiaries' payments begins with your effective retirement date, not your death. Beneficiary payments will begin upon your death and stop at the end of the specified period. For example, if you select Plan E with a 5-year time frame, all potential beneficiary coverage would end 5 years from your effective retirement date. Because this is a complex plan, please be sure to talk to one of our representatives before selecting this plan. Most of you will notice that there is no Plan F on your estimate. This is only provided to those of you who specifically requested this option. Plan F allows you to name up to 4 beneficiaries to receive lifetime monthly payments upon your death. You must designate a percentage of your monthly pension or a flat dollar amount for each beneficiary. The amount designated cannot be less than 10% unless required by a court order. The amount for all beneficiaries cannot exceed 100%. Please be aware that naming multiple beneficiaries can greatly reduce your monthly pension. Plan F also allows your spouse to continue health care coverage with SCRS. Here's something more for you to consider. We offer the option to take part of your pension in a one-time lump sum payment called a PLOP. This lump sum is available only at the time of retirement. A PLOP can be anywhere from 6 months to 36 months of your monthly pension amount. But be aware that it will reduce your lifetime monthly payment. By law, your original pension amount cannot be reduced more than 50% if you choose a PLOP. Let's look at a quick example of how much a PLOP can reduce a benefit. In this example, a person retires and their monthly pension amount without receiving a PLOP would be $780.31. The chart included shows the difference between receiving a PLOP equal to 6 times the monthly pension and 36 times the monthly pension. Also, choosing the PLOP does not avoid the impact of Social Security's offset and windfall provisions. Taxes may substantially reduce your PLOP amount. The PLOP is subject to a mandatory 20% federal income tax withholding. Younger retirees may also be subject to an additional 10% federal income tax on early distributions unless an exception applies. You may be able to continue to defer federal taxation by rolling over your PLOP into an IRA or other tax-deferred account. If you are interested in receiving an estimate with a PLOP option, please contact our office. If you qualify for health care coverage, you can enroll your spouse and pay for his or her premium from your monthly payment regardless of the payment plan you choose. However, to ensure that your spouse's health care coverage continues after your death, you must choose Plan A, C, D, or F. Keep in mind that if you are married and choose a PLOP or one of the plans of payment listed here that provides less than 1/2 your pension amount to your surviving spouse, he or she must sign a notarized consent form. On that note, if you do not name your spouse as a beneficiary under any of these plans, he or she must consent to that choice as well. You've just learned about the 6 plan options. It is important that you review your options very carefully. Once you select your plan of payment, you're locked in. Only under limited circumstances can you change your plan. For example, if you choose a joint survivor allowance under Plan A, C, or D, and your beneficiary dies before you do, you will be able to adjust your pension to the single life allowance, Plan B. This is called a pop-up. If you choose Plan F for multiple beneficiaries, your pension will be adjusted if one or more of the beneficiaries predeceases you. If you divorce, you may be able to pop up as well. Should you get married, you can pop down to a joint survivor allowance. You have 1 year from your date of marriage to change your plan of payment. In either case, please notify us as soon as possible so that the necessary paperwork can be processed. That was a whole lot of information in a fairly short amount of time, so let's do a recap. Your age plus your years of service plus your final average salary equals your paycheck in retirement. When choosing your plan of payment, consider your spouse or beneficiary's needs, including access to health care coverage. Remember that you do have the option to choose a PLOP and that your spouse may need to sign a consent form based on your choices. Regardless of the plan you choose, your designated beneficiary will receive a $1,000 death benefit when you pass away.